Hi everyone, my name is Rod Jans, and you're listening to the Get Inspired Talks podcast. This week in our inaugural episode, we get to listen into a conversation between podcast host Francesca Anastasi and the producer of Get Inspired Talks, Roger Killen. In this episode, you'll find out Roger's secret to making epic events like TEDx Stanley Park that he has run for the past 5 years. Francesca and Roger also discuss what he hopes to accomplish with his new venture, the Get Inspired Talks. They also discuss how to locate your own pillar of genius and take action to make the world a better place. And now, without further ado, here's Francesca and Roger.
I happened to go to a meetup, and there was a lady speaking about each one of us having, her terminology was a unique pillar of genius. And on the way home, I had this flash, this thunderbolt from the sky, which caused me to realize that my unique pillar of genius was organizing events. And in fact, my first memory in life was organizing, I was probably 3 or 4 at the time. I was organizing a go-kart train around my parents' double garage. And ever since then, somehow I've been the one who's organizing the birthday parties and organizing the corporate events. And I just didn't realize before that flash that my unique pillar of genius was organizing events. Shortly after that, I found myself in the audience of a TEDx event. And I thought, this is amazing. This aligns with my values. I like what they're doing here. Only I can do it better. That then triggered an application to start my own TEDx event. Event number 1 took place in 2013. It was called TEDx Stanley Park. Then event number 2 took place in 2015, 16, 17, and 18. And my last event was in my last TEDx Stanley Park event was in the Queen Elizabeth Theatre in downtown Vancouver to an audience of 2,200 people to rave reviews. And that is how I got into the business of organizing epic events.
What's the secret of making it so successful?
95% of the world cannot do what I do. And I can't do what 95% of the world can do. The reason that this to me is easy is because it is my unique pillar of genius. Now, some people will call that your purpose, some people will call it your why. There's many different names for it, but each of us have got something inside us that makes us unique and special, and stuff that is really hard for me to do. Bookkeeping is really easy for a whole pile of other people to do. So the whole key is to find that thing that we are really, really good at. Ideally, we find it as early in life as possible, and then we just hone those skills, get those 10,000 hours of experience, become amazingly good at it, and then roll it out into a grand scale if that is what's important to you. So if you ask me, with my clearly defined unique pillar of genius, what makes me good at doing epic events, there's a whole pile. Once you've got clarity around that why, that purpose, then there's a whole pile of earning the right, and that's called experience. And you make all sorts of mistakes on that hard anvil that is called experience. And then with the passage of time, Malcolm Gladwell said it's 10,000 hours. I can believe that because I only now feel really confident and competent at putting on a multi-thousand person event to an extremely high standard. And this is year number 5 for me doing TEDx Stanley Park. 2,000 hours a year, 5 years, there's my 10,000 hours. And so it's the combination of these two things working synergistically together to produce an amazing talent that is you. It's getting to know yourself, and generally you don't know yourself until you have tested yourself, put your feet in the fire and say, oh, I don't like this heat. And then you pass the coals on to somebody else and move on to doing more of what you are uniquely great at doing.
Great advice. And now you are launching a whole new event.
Yes, I am.
You're in Vancouver. Can you share with our audience? Because I don't know much about it, so I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's a social enterprise, which means a for-profit business with a strong social motive. It's a social enterprise that wants to harness the power of inspiring short talks and produce and distribute those short talks such that the world gets to hear them. And it's an antidote to the bad news, the sad news, the fake news, the violent news that we are subjected to 200, 300, 400, 500 times a day, and which has resulted, in my opinion, in humanity not being in a very good mood right now. Let's rejuvenate those spirits. Let's give people reasons to raise a flag for humanity, and then I think we will be able to address some of our common problems in a much more positive frame of mind. And when humanity does that, when humanity combines in a spirit of cooperation and determination, we can conquer all. We can beat global warming. We can beat the rise in the oceans. We can beat plastic contamination in the Pacific Ocean. We can beat homelessness. We can beat every one of humanity's ills, so long as we have the political will and the determination to do so.
So getinspiredtalks.com is the website.
And come and join us. Be inspired. Be inspired to take brave actions that will positively impact the world.
Well, thank you so much, Roger.
My pleasure.
It's been awesome.